I'm Linda Fox. I'm in the PhocusWire studio at PhocusWire Europe, and I'm delighted to welcome Mike Putman, and he is CEO of Custom Travel Solutions and founder.
And founder, yes.
And founder.
Thank you.
So you have been in the industry for a few years.
Yeah, as you can tell.
Well,
a lot of years.
What I want to start with is, what have you seen in all your years in travel? You know, what has most surprised you that's, you know, that you've just gone, I never saw that coming?
That's a tough one. But I think in general, how resilient the travel business is, no matter what comes our way, whether it be a stock market crash, war, global events, COVID, people need to travel. It's become part of their DNA. It's less of this is a luxury, and it's more of this is part of my life. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, like the air that we breathe, kind of thing.
Yeah,
yeah, it's true.
There's a song about that. The air that we breathe.
Sometimes. Okay, we won't go there. Okay, now you have founded 3 companies over the years.
Probably 4.
Yeah.
4. Yeah.
When you look at what's happening now, the kind of quadruple whammy of conflict, economic instability, political, whatever you want to call it, upheaval, and climate change, does it feel different now than it has at any other time before, do you think?
Yes, I do. I think so. I think there's a lot of compounding effects that are coming now. You know, there's a lot of global insecurity, strife, and uncertainty. And I think that is one thing that gives people a pause to travel. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're in a unique situation. I don't think people are going to stop traveling.
No.
But I think we've seen, you know, certainly inbound markets to the U.S. There's been quite a bit of slowdown, as one would expect, for obvious reasons.
And the stats are out on that. You know, that's nothing new.
But I also feel like we're at a point in time where there's a lot of change happening, and it's going to be interesting to see where we go in the next year or so.
Are you confident? Are you glass half full?
No, I mean, again, I think people are always going to travel, right? And it's when there are economic slowdowns, when there are global issues, things tend to get soft. But just like after COVID, with the COVID hangover, you know, things went kind of through the roof with the demand.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Custom Travel Solutions. When you founded the company, what were you seeing at the time that you thought the industry needs private travel clubs?
Yes, that's a good question. So previous to this, at my prior company, we had built what was the world's largest international travel club. We had around 800,000 members in 32 countries. And as I built that club, in the years of building that club, we had a lot of people come and say, hey, we would like to have a club like this. Mm-hmm. Major brands, major American brands primarily. And so I'd take the opportunity after, you know, doing some due diligence and thinking through and meeting with these folks, I'd take it back to the board, and the board would say, no, we want to keep this our own deal. So it was an opportunity for me to create something that would allow me to distribute this product through other brands to people all over the world. Okay.
So you just saw this opportunity with brands asking for something similar, and you thought, well, I can do this at scale. And
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting I find about travel clubs is that the sort of idea of clubs has evolved as loyalty has evolved. And now we've got subscription type services with airlines, and we've got, I think Ryanair has now got one. Obviously, eDreams talks about its scheme all the time. So do we continue to evolve in this direction, or at some point is there a reckoning, I suppose?
No, I think we're still at the early stages. eDreams has had tremendous success with their subscription program, and hats off to those guys. But I think we're in the beginning of a change in consumer behavior, where people are more accustomed to subscriptions, not just media, but, you know, shavers. You can subscribe and get shavers. Sure. All your Amazon subscribe and save.
Bike maintenance.
And there are people and there's people that just like to buy that way. And also, when you have a subscription, you gain a confidence with that brand. So Focusrite years ago published a paper that said the average consumer searches 14 websites before they make a purchase, 14, 15, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. And what we find is the new subscribers that come in, they will test the waters, dip their toe in, test a few sites, and then after that, it's just they come to one place and do all their travel transactions because they have confidence and they're paying for service.
So as much as people want to join a club and truly engage in that brand and that brand's offering, what about, say, for example, newer generations, newer cohorts, because they are behaving differently. You talk to the hotels about it and trying to sort of strike this balance between offering something to older generations who want the stays or the points accumulate and the instant gratification type side. So how do you believe that the travel club idea goes as much for those generations?
Absolutely, 100%. The Gen Zs and millennials are looking for instant access to travel products. They want to, at the drop of a hat, fly off somewhere for a city stay for the weekend, and having that confidence that a travel club's going to be there. And it's not just great prices. I mean, the concept of our travel clubs are we sell travel at cost, and we're able to buy travel at significantly reduced prices over what you would find at Booking.com or even Expedia, about 27% less. And we pass those savings on to our customers in exchange for a subscription fee.
Okay.
So it creates a great deal of trust by doing that. And, and millennials and Gen Z guys, they love to travel. They love to do short trips, and they're not afraid to spend the money either.
And are they behaving differently? Are they demanding different elements? For example, experiences, because it's been all about experiences recently. So does that mean you have to then, bring that content in?
Absolutely, yes. So we have experiences. We have single-day experiences through a partnership with Viator, and then we also have multi-day experiences all over the world. And we partnered with TourHub for that inventory content, and they love it, and they really do love it. In addition, we provide as a part of the membership, we typically will provide other things like 24/7 concierge service.
Right.
So it's not just for your travel, but it's things you might be doing at home or airport lounge access.
Yeah. So you're trying to capture more of what they might need from before the trip, on the trip, after the trip, potentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sort of lifestyle.
And 24/7 customer support, I can't underscore that enough, but our customer support is fantastic. And it's 24/7 chat, telephone, email that we end up providing to our clients as part of the service.
How have you seen AI impact your business so far?
So when it first became, a couple of years ago when it first came out, everybody was running around trying to build these things to help trip planning. And it's going to get there. It's not there yet, I don't think. And I've been to almost every Focuswire in the U.S. I think the first one was in 1999. And if you go back and look at all these startup programs, how many were in trip planning? There are hundreds, and none of them really made it. I just don't think people necessarily want to buy that way.
Okay.
There'll be pieces of it for sure, but I still think that's not the way of the future, at least in the next 4 or 5 years. Maybe.
Are you in the school of thought where people want to shop around because they like? It could be making sure that they've got the best experience, or they've got the best time for the flight, or they've got the hotel in the location they really want. Is that your school of thinking?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. And also remember, these AI solutions are pulling information. They don't think up this information. They're just copying information from other sources. And as we know, lots of reviews for hotels, as an example, are inaccurate at best. So I think that people want to talk to someone at times. They want to be able to do their own research. But the way we have leveraged AI, and we have done it in a significant manner, is through the back office or back office processes. We actually developed a product called Reconfirm.ai. And we were solving a problem, and the problem was that we all have in this business. I'm sure you've checked into a hotel, and the person at the front desk says, "Oh, we don't have a reservation for you," right? And that's especially troubling when it's 11 o'clock at night and you're in a foreign city. So what we did is we built this product out of necessity, and then we productized it to license to other companies, which uses AI, uses a natural voice to call and reconfirm every hotel 3 days before the customer's arrival. We obtained the name of the person that we spoke to, the time, and also the hotel confirmation number, which is kind of the key element. So that's one way that we...
And that sort of use case seems like the real kind of almost sweet spot where you can make a huge difference with something that seems relatively simple.
Yes.
But creates an enormous amount of stress. So
yes,
yeah.
It does. And, there's nothing like when you have a guest that calls you and says, I'm here at this hotel, they don't have a room for me, and you have to scramble around. So we're doing that. We're also utilizing AI to monitor all of our customer interactions. So we are using AI to interact with customers at a certain level, but more importantly, we have AI listening in to every single occurrence with the customer, whether it be chat, whether it be email, whether it be on the phone.
Do they know it's listening in?
Yes.
Like when you have when you ring the electricity board and they say your call is being recorded.
Monitored, yeah.
Yeah. Same, yeah.
Yeah. And then what AI does is it transcribes every conversation, buttons it all together. So if they're called in, if they come in through chat or email or whatever, buttons all that together. But the main thing is, we're able to measure, or AI actually measures the customer sentiment. And if their sentiment scores below what we think is acceptable, we have a tier 2 customer service agent call that person back and say, hey, Mr. Smith, it seems like your experience with our agent wasn't the best. How can we make it right? Mm-hmm. Now you think about that, Four Seasons doesn't do that. American Express, Centurion card that costs $5,000 a year, they don't do that. But it's a great way that we can provide really deep down customer support and get every issue resolved.
What are your greatest challenges as a CEO?
Of the company or of the industry?
Well, I'll come back to the industry in a minute, but as of the company in your everyday role.
Yeah, well, I'd say that instead of challenges, I would say the learning that was probably a challenge that I learned about the hard way was having the right culture and how important culture is in a business. So we actually have a chief culture officer, which sounds kind of corny, but we spend a lot of time meeting together as an organization and talk about how do we resolve conflict, how do we, do these things, which are great for people's way of life, but also we've developed this set of rules. It's kind of like a constitution for working at Custom Travel Solutions called a team agreement, and everyone gets training on that team agreement when they first join the company, and everybody has to agree to it. If they don't agree to it, then they don't work for Custom Travel Solutions. That's
interesting. There's I talked to Casago about something similar. Their sort of internal Bible, and training people on it and making sure that everybody knows it inside out, and that you constantly update people and that they will follow it and want to follow it if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And they have to have benefit for themselves.
Which is interesting, because sometimes you bring in a chief culture officer, but that could be about the company wanting to enforce what they perceive as the culture on the employees, and that just doesn't kind of work. That's not going to be good. Okay, so greater challenges for the industry then, would you say?
Trying to figure out how AI is going to play in. Also safety, concerns as people are doing more international travel. And then I also think, we've got some issues with the U.S. of saying people now are not allowed, certain countries are not allowed to come in. Which troubles me greatly because I know the power of travel, what it can, what it can do, and I'm very deeply concerned about what's going on with that. So I consider that a challenge, and it's I don't. Not only for the travel business, I think it sends the wrong signal to people of other cultures, other nations, that we don't want them there, and that's very unfortunate.
It's for us. It's not what travel is all about, is it?
No.
It's not the culture we create as the industry, but we'll have to see how that plays out. When you look back to, say your 25-year-old self, what do you tell yourself now that you wish you'd known then? Like, what do you know now that you wish you'd known then?
I think at 25, I was trying to carry the burden of the entire company on my shoulder, and I was not giving responsibilities as freely as I should have. And that was a big learning for me. And it took a while, but that was, kind of for me personally. Also, there's this business, as you can see at this event, is about collaboration. It's not really competition, right? I mean, this is such a large industry that we're in, and I wish when I was 25, I would have figured out more ways to collaborate rather than try to compete.
Okay. If you could give the industry one gift, what would you give it?
Oh, one gift. For me, my passion is having people that have never traveled travel. And I've had the opportunity at my previous business where we had a lot of members from the middle part of the U.S. And we would do these big group trips. And to see these people who've never been out of the U.S., to walk into a grand lobby in Cancun, with these big, massive hotels and look up and they're just awestruck. There's something really gratifying about that. But even more gratifying is when they're having service from someone that they, a different culture, a different nation, and they realize, hey, this person's just like me. Maybe their skin colors is a little different or their hair's different or whatever, but it's not them anymore. It's this not the them mentality. It's
a shared experience or shared goal,
and it breaks down. It really does break down barriers. And enlightens people's minds. So I think my gift to the travel industry would be to really focus on that, try to get yourself the opportunity to experience that, and also share that. And let's get people traveling, because it makes people better when they do travel.
Great, Mike. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Linda.